On the path to realizing their dreams, every dancer must pass through a formidable trial, flexibility training. This is not a decorative or optional aspect of dance education, but one of its most fundamental, grueling, and transformative components. Like an invisible mountain woven into a dancer's lifelong journey, flexibility training is not something that can be bypassed or rushed. It is a challenge that tests not only the limits of the body but the very strength of the human spirit. Anyone who aspires to stand at the pinnacle of the stage must grit their teeth and climb, with resolve, discipline, and deep inner will. To the outside world, flexibility training may appear to be a series of elegant stretches or tranquil, almost meditative poses. It might even seem effortless, beautiful, controlled, and serene. But beneath this illusion lies a world of quiet agony and relentless self-discipline. Every graceful backbend or deep split conceals a daily battle against pain and fatigue. Muscles are pulled to their limits, ligaments stretched to unfamiliar lengths, and joints pushed into awkward angles that defy natural comfort. These are not just exercises, they are micro-struggles with the very structure of the body, and victories are measured in centimeters. Yet dancers do not shy away from this discomfort. They learn to embrace it. In fact, they must, because progress and flexibility comes only with repetition, resilience, and respect for the body's resistance. Each day, the dancer returns to the floor or bar, reaching just a little further, holding a little longer, breathing through the sting. They expand their physical range inch by inch, in a process that feels painfully slow but is deeply transformative. Much of this training happens in the most unnoticed hours and spaces, before the sun rises, in quiet studios still heavy with morning silence, or after dark, when the world has gone to sleep and only the hum of a heater or the ticking of a clock fills the room. These are not glamorous moments. There are no cameras, no costumes, no spectators. Only the mirror, the floor, and the unwavering presence of effort. Sweat dots the mats, bruises and friction burns mark the skin, and sometimes, legs tremble so much after intense stretching that walking becomes a struggle. But this, too, is the dance, not the performance, but the preparation, not the applause, but the persistence. Importantly, the goal of flexibility training is not merely to achieve extreme ranges of motion. True dance is not about contortion, it is about control, power, and harmony. Behind the effortless lift of a leg or the seamless arc of a body in flight is a foundation of invisible strength. The core must be solid, the pelvis must be stable, the spine must be both flexible and supported. Dancers spend countless hours building strength in their deepest muscle layers, developing coordination between their breath, balance, and alignment. They perform static holds, controlled descents, and isolations that engage every part of the body, often in slow motion, often in silence. These exercises test patience as much as power. Many dancers will tell you, it's not that they can't do a stretch, it's that it hurts too much to keep going. But they go on anyway. Because to pause is to lose momentum, and to lose momentum is to regress. Flexibility training is also a crucible of mental growth. Especially for beginners, it is not uncommon to feel fear, of pain, of failure, of inadequacy. The body screams in protest at unfamiliar shapes, and the mind wavers with uncertainty. Yet with time, the dancer begins to push past these psychological walls. There is a quiet triumph in holding a stretch longer than yesterday, in reaching a fingertip just a bit closer to the floor, in realizing that pain can become manageable, and that the impossible can become familiar. These victories forge emotional resilience, the same kind that fuels dancers when lights dim and the curtain rises. Equally important is the training of balance and body awareness, both of which are inseparable from flexibility. Holding an arabesque endpoint or executing a controlled rotation demands not only limber limbs but also a finely tuned sense of space, weight, and equilibrium. At the beginning, even standing on one leg can be a challenge. Dancers fall. A lot. But each fall becomes a teacher. They learn to listen to their body's signals, to track subtle shifts in their center of gravity, to adjust in real time. With each correction, their confidence grows, not as an abstract feeling, but as a physical knowledge of their own boundaries and potential. In its own quiet way, Flexibility training also becomes a pathway to emotional introspection. Though it may not express emotion the way performance does, it fosters a unique relationship between mind and body. In the long holds and measured breaths, dancers often find stillness, a moment of clarity and communion with the self. They begin to notice not just tight hamstrings or stiff shoulders, but how tension settles with stress, how freedom of movement reflects internal calm. Over time, this awareness deepens their artistry. They don't just move, they feel through movement, creating performances that resonate beyond technique. It must be acknowledged that the fruits of flexibility training come slowly. There is no finish line, no singular aha moment. Unlike jumps that dazzle or pirouettes that earn applause, progress in flexibility is subtle, sometimes imperceptible. Dancers may plateau. Weeks or even months may pass without clear improvement. But those who endure know that growth continues beneath the surface. The body adapts in ways we cannot always see. Strength accumulates. Awareness sharpens. And one day, almost unexpectedly, a movement becomes easier, smoother, more expressive. That is the quiet miracle of consistent effort. For this reason, flexibility training shapes more than physical skill, it shapes character. It fosters perseverance in the face of stagnation, commitment in the absence of praise, and inner strength when the body aches to stop. Dancers emerge not just with enhanced technique, but with a greater capacity for patience, grit, and self-belief. In the solitude of training, they learn lessons that echo far beyond the studio. Ultimately, flexibility training is one of the most profound and underestimated forms of practice in dance. It doesn't glitter like stage lights or stir the applause of a crowd, but it anchors every leap, turn, and flourish. In a world increasingly obsessed with speed and instant gratification, flexibility training offers a different truth, that mastery is slow, that depth requires discipline, and that art, like the body, is forged in quiet, persistent labor. And those early mornings, those silent rooms, those aching limbs, will one day blossom into movements that speak without words. Movements that move audiences, not just because they are beautiful, but because they are real. Because they were earned.